Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Yasam Tato Chayam Mudirayat Nastapreshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamas Loker Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. We read from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, 9th chapter, text 25. Kutra Shisha Shruti Sukha Mrika Trishni Rupaha Kvedam Kalevaram Ashesha Rucham Viroha Nirvidyate Na Tu Chano Yat Apiti Vidvan Kamanalam Matulavai Shamayan Turapai Kutra Trisha Shruti Sukha Mrika Trishni Rupa Kutra Trisha Shruti Sukha Mrika Trishni Rupa Vedam Kalevaram Ashesha Rucham Viroha Vedam Kalevaram Ashesha Rucham Viroha Nirvidyate Natuchano Yatapiti Vidvan Nirvidyate natu chanoyat apiti vidvan Kamanalam atulavai shamayam turapai Kamanalam atulavai shamayam turapai Kutra Shisha Shruti Sukha Mrika Trishni Rupa Kvedam Kalevaram Ashesha Rucham Viroha Nirvidyate Natuchano Yatapiti Vidvan Kamanalam Matulavai Shamayan Turapai Kamanalam Matulavai Shamayan Turapai Kutra Where Ashisha Benedictions Shruti Sukha, simply pleasing to hear of. Mrika Trishni Rupa, exactly like a mirage in the desert. Kva, where. Idam, this. Kalevaram, body. Ashesha, unlimited, Rujam, of diseases, Viroha, the place of generating, Nirvidyate, become satiated, Na, not, Tu, but, Janaha, people in general, Yat api, although, Iti, thus, Vidvan, so-called learned philosophers, scientists and politicians, Kama analam, the blazing fire of lusty desires, Madhu lavai, with drops of honey, happiness, Shamayan, controlling, Durapai, very difficult to obtain. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nrisimhadev prayers. In this material world, every living entity desires some future happiness, which is exactly like a mirage in the desert. Where is water in the desert? Or in other words, where is happiness in this material world? As for this body, what is its value? It is merely a source of various diseases. The so-called philosophers, scientists, and politicians know this very well, but nonetheless, they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to obtain, but because they are unable to control their senses, they run after the so-called happiness of the material world and never come to the right conclusion. Purport. There is a song in the Bengali language which states, I constructed the home for happiness, but unfortunately there was a fire and everything has now been burned to ashes. Maharaj, you know the Bengali of it? You know the Bengali of this verse? It's a Bengali proverb. Do you know it? How it goes? You know? Okay. Again, please be attentive. It's purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. There is a song in the Bengali language which states, I constructed this home for happiness, but unfortunately there was a fire and everything has now been burned to ashes. Sorry. From whom is it? From whom is this proverb? Chandidas. Chandidas. Huh? Grihe. You understood? Huh? Okay. So, unfortunately, it burned to ashes, although it built a house for my purpose to enjoy. And it burned to ashes. This illustrates the nature of material happiness. Everyone knows it, but nonetheless, one plans to hear or think something very pleasing. Unfortunately, all of one's plans are annihilated in due course of time. There were many politicians who planned empires, supremacy, and control of the world, but in due time, all their plans and empires, and even the politicians themselves, were vanquished. Everyone should take lessons from Prahlad Maharaj about how we are engaged in so-called temporary happiness through bodily exercises for sense enjoyment. All of us repeatedly make plans which are all repeatedly frustrated. Therefore, one should stop such plan making. As one cannot stop a blazing fire by constantly pouring ghee upon it, one cannot satisfy oneself by increasing plans for sense enjoyment. The blazing fire is Bhava Mahatavagni, the forest fire of material existence. This forest fire occurs automatically, without endeavor. We want to be happy in the material world, but this will never be possible. We shall simply increase the blazing fire of desires. When our desires cannot be satisfied, though, by illusory thoughts and plans. Rather, we have to follow the instructions of Lord Krishna. Bhagavad-Gita, Sarva Dharma Pritya Cha, Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. Then we shall be happy. Otherwise, in the name of happiness, we shall continue to suffer miserable conditions. Kutra Shisha Shruti Sukha Mrikatrishni Rupa Kvedam Kalevaramashesha Rucham Viroha Nirvityate Natuchanoyat Apiti Vidvan Kamanalam Matulavai Shamayan Durapahai. In this material world, every living entity desires some future happiness which is exactly like a mirage in the desert. Where there is water in the desert, or in other words, where is happiness in this material world? As for this body, what is its value? It is merely a source of various diseases. The so-called philosophers, scientists, and politicians know this very well, but nonetheless they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to obtain, but because they are unable to control their senses, they run after the so-called happiness of the material world and never come to the right conclusion. Om Gyati Maranyasya Gananchana Salakyam Jakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svavadantikam. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the previous two verses, yesterday and before, in text 23 and 24, this text 25, Prahlad, because he's sitting, you have to understand situation, he's sitting on the lap of the Lord. He was not seated in the material world anymore, because the lap of the Lord is transcendental. Hiranyakashipu died on that lap because he didn't want to die in heaven or in hell or between. So he died on the lap of of Lord Nrsingadev, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is a Leela avatar, one of the most popular avatars for the Vaishnavas. Actually, next to Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, of course, who is the Yuga avatar for this age, Nrsingadev is our Upadev of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. He is our worshipable Lord next to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna. So therefore, all Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they are worshippers of Lord Nrsingadev and following in the mood or in the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is a great Mahachan. So when Prahlad Maharaj, he was sitting on that same lap who was transcendental, who actually appeared for his purpose, mainly for his purpose, to save his devotee, to protect him from the attack, severe attack, mortal attack of his demoniac father, Hiranyakashipu. So he was sitting on that same lap. The Lord lifted him up He offered his obeisances. No Brahma, no Shiva, no Lakshmi, even Lakshmi Devi. Not to speak of the other devatas who were present at that time. They were all surprised, they were all very much shocked to see this ferocious form of Lord Nrsingadev, half man, half lion, looking very angry. Still he was angry. And they didn't know how to pacify him, how to pace him down. He was still, because if somebody is angry, it's not easy to calm down immediately. And you can imagine when Lord Nrsingadev became so much angry, and that even he could not calm down. He was still looking around. Is there still somebody who wants to attack my devotee and want to create trouble to the Vaishnavas? Come up. Let's see. Then I also will tear you apart immediately. So he was ready to tear apart everyone who was not surrendering unto the Lord now, and to the Lord's devotee. So he was in very angry mood, and nobody knew how to pacify him, how to please him, to calm the anger down of the Lord. Although the Lord normally don't get angry, and even if he gets angry, this anger is a lila. So we can understand the Lord's anger as a lila. But we also we should not be underestimating and think, just his lila, he's angry, but he's actually not angry. It's maybe only a play. No, he's also taken very seriously for those who are not devotee. So Prahlad Maharaj, he was the only one. Ultimately, Brahma requested Prahlad, please you go and please the Lord, offer your prayer to him. Because you're a young boy, he will not tear you apart, he will not chastise you. He didn't committed any offense. I am an offender because I gave blessing to this Hiranyakashipu, so I better don't go. I better don't go. And others also that don't try to go. They didn't dare to go. So please you go and pacify him for our sake and for the sake of the universe, and you are his devotee. And Prahlad Maharaj, he offered his dandavats, falling down flat like a rod before the lotus feet of the Lord, who was sitting on the throne of his father. And the Lord immediately, he became kind. He became calmed down. He started to smile. He took Prahlad on his lap and even licked his body with his tongue, like a lioness is licking the body of her cub or her little baby lion baby. It's licking. I like you so much. So the Lord is kissing, he can licking, he can embracing, he can also destroy somebody if he is not acting properly. But in rasa, in a relationship to the Lord, with priti, with love and devotion, the Lord loves the devotee more dear than his own life. Because the devotee is always in his heart, and the Lord is always in the heart of his devotee. Therefore, there is no separation at any time between the pure devotee who is always thinking about Krishna and making always plans in hearing, chanting and remembering Krishna in the association of other devotees. So Lord was very pleased. He took Prahlad on his lap, and he asked him what is your desire? I like to give you fulfill desire. Varam deva moksha na moksha. But Prahlad, he didn't had any desire for moksha, for a kingdom in the world, or a heavenly position in Ramaloka or in Indraloka. No, he had no all desires. So that was pointed out in text 23 in short. I have seen the lifespan, wealth and power of the devatas. which people desire so much to attain, the devatas were destroyed in one moment, just by the eyebrow, lifting of the eyebrow of my father. Although he was actually only sarcastically laughing at them in jest, he was laughing at them, And the demigods, they were so much shocked and afraid of Hiranyakashipu that they became paralyzed. They lost all their powers. And as soon they saw Hiranyakashipu coming near to their palaces or realm in the heavenly planet, so they all ran away in fear. I see it. I have heard it from the Puranas and from the histories. So they can learn the lesson, even to attain heavenly planets, it's not the aspiration of supreme aspiration of the living entity, of the Jiva, because there is also misery. Although they are immortals, they are amaras, but still they have to fear about their life. Sometimes they become cursed, or they commit an offense like Indra, and then he gets in trouble, loses his powers, and then demons are taking over, and then he has to run away and hiding himself, and then only by some benediction that again he's installed again for some time, and again problem. And ultimately also death is taking place there. So Prahlad Maharaj, he was very intelligent because he was pious. He got the blessings of Lord of his guru Narada Muni. He blessed him already when he was in the womb of his mother. So he got this association of Narada Muni, of a great devotee, and by this blessing he became inspired to himself become a devotee and not a demon. The fear was, the demigods, they thought, this son of Hiranyakashipu will become a demon too. But it didn't happen like that. So Narada came there. They wanted to kill the mother. They wanted to kill the baby. But the demigods thought, no, you don't harm that boy and that lady, because the baby in that womb, it's a great devotee of the Lord. He's not a demon. He's not Asura. They thought, he's the son of Asura. He maybe will become a greater demon than Hiranyakashipu himself. But they didn't have the Narada. He knew. He's omniscient. He's like the super soul. He know what is going on in everyone's heart. So he knew who Prahlad is. Therefore, he protected Prahlad, and he inspired him and empowered him for the devotional service. Therefore, Prahlad, he had this experience by Narada's mercy, by the mercy of bhakti, devotional service appearing in his heart. It's costless. I cannot buy bhakti. It is costless, and it's only transmitted by the grace and mercy of Bhakti Devi through the pure heart or loving heart of a devotee who has this prema, who has this love, like Narada, or in the disciplic succession of Narada. If one comes in contact with such devotees, one can actually become injected, one becomes electricized, like coming in contact with the fire. The body is still there, but if the fire is there, it's like an iron putting in fire, it becomes fiery. You can maybe still say, it's fire, it's iron. But if you touch it, you see, it is fiery. And everything that comes in contact with that iron, which is fiery, becomes fired up too. And therefore the testing stone or the effect of bhakti is one's senses, one's body, the mind, the intellect, one's whole existence becomes spiritualized in the fire of bhakti, given by the causeless mercy of the Vaishnava. Ramande Brahmite Kone Bhagavana Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai Bhakti Lata Beach. Therefore the Bhakti Lata Beach is installed in the futile heart, in the pure heart or ready heart of a jiva, of a human being, so that the bhakti can grow to a very nice plant, who will become very pleasing to Krishna. So the devatas were destroyed by the movement of the eyebrows of my father, who was angered in jest. But you have destroyed him in one moment. So the devotee has great faith because of this great mercy of the association of devotee. His intelligence become purified, because only with the purified intelligence we can surrender to the Lord. Even in the yoga process, we also have to need the help of the intelligence so that we can control the mind and fix it on the Lord. So to do yoga, we need good intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and also to engage in bhakti-yoga, we need good intelligence. And this intelligence, ultimately, we have it not. We don't have this good intelligence, because our intelligence is foolish. Because the intelligence is misguided by the mind, by the senses, by Maya, by the Prakriti, by the material nature. This Maya is very powerful. It's very difficult and practically impossible to overcome on our own. So this Maya is not to overcome with our own force. But if by great mercy one comes in contact with the devotee, he will give us this intelligence. He will tell us in which direction to go, and what we should do and what we should not do. We cannot define about that, and we are not intelligent enough. Therefore, we always have to accept vidhi. Vidhi means instruction by Shastra and Guru and Sadhu. If we are not following this kind of vidhi, then we go lost. We cannot cross over the fearful ocean of birth and death on our own. And we are too weak, too tiny. We are Anu. But Maya is very, very strong. It's an ocean of birth and death, samsara. It's a big ocean. Tavanala. Vishwanath Chakravarti, in his purport, he writes, "My dear Lord, now he paraphrases this. Now I am completely experienced concerning the worldly opulence, mystic power, longevity, and other material pleasures enjoyed by all living entities, from Lord Brahma down to the end. As powerful time, you destroy them all. Therefore, because of my experience, I do not wish to possess them. I don't want to possess them, because I see the temporarity to your kala or time aspect. Because that's your law, what you establish from very beginning of the creation, time. Everything came installed or established and manifested in time. It stays for some time and becomes annihilated in time. And the time can be very long, can be very short, or it can be something in the middle. But it is in the material world, the time is the enemy for the conditioned soul who is attached to the material world to make plans, to become happy in this material world. It becomes enemy. Therefore, everyone foolishly competes with the time, with kala. But foolish, because how can something that is temporary compete with that what is eternal, what is unending? The time is unending. It's not different from the Lord. Kala asmin. Kala, it's the Lord. So how we can conquer the time? Time is conquering us all the time. All the time, birth, old age, disease, and death. So it's very unintelligent, to fight against the time and to make big plans in the little lifespan, even as a lifespan of Brahma, to make a plan, how to become happy and how to build up something very great, but I maybe in the end cannot even enjoy really. And this is what the materialists so-called Vidvans. Vidvan means actually some great thinker. But Prabhupada translates it also as politicians, so-called politicians, philosophers, and scientists. They're all so-called Vidvan, very knowledgeable, very learned professors and doctors, in all kinds of sciences, But even they, making so many plans, although they're so-called Vidvan, intelligence, they're making plans how to become happy, how to expand our control for our enjoyment. Actually, they cannot even enjoy because they're only thinking about how to get more and more control, more and more possessions. And this is really this demoniac quality, how to taking over more and more. Although we can also be very satisfied with a little, but out of greed and lust, we want more and 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 more. And you maybe become millionaire first, then you have 10 million, then you have 100 million, then you have 1 billion, then you have 10 billion, then you maybe have 1 trillion. Nowadays is always competition. Who is the richest man in the world? But if you look at the faces of these richest men of the world, they're looking happy. They look satisfied. No, because they're not happy even with $1 trillion. Even with $1 trillion, they're not happy. Because actually this money is not existing. It's all an idea. It's all somewhere, invested in so many things, but actually it's not existing. They don't even possess. In the end, they can lose. Prabhupada and also an experience we're here. In one day, the stock marketing and everything can collapse, devaluation, and then in the end you have nothing. And even if the time is to the time aspect, we become maybe very rich, so-called fortunate, and then we can also lose it at any time. This is the Kala aspect. Therefore, we should never foolishly think I can conquer the time and making plans to make my ideas, fulfill my ideas, and expanding my ideas more and more. Because if the plan is not Krishna's plan, if it is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead's plan, it will be a failure. It will be devastated. Nunam pramata kurudevi karma yad indriya pritaya aprinoti na sadumanye yad atmano yam asan apikleshata ashadeha. But the living entity is very foolish because it's running always after this mirage, Fata Morgana, like in a desert. To fulfill, to find some water, to find some hallucinating castle or city or world plan. But it's only a light, I would say, a reflection from the air in the desert. It is not there. You're running after it, and then you think, oh, I'm very there, and then suddenly it disappears. It's not there. Because in the end, we have nothing. We are nirmama. We have nothing in our possession. So the great poet Vidyapati, Bengali poet, what he says? Maharaj, Bengali, the material enjoyment of house, family, wife, children is like a drop of water in the desert. But everyone knows a drop in the desert it's not enough. It's not quenching your thirst. You are so thirsty you can drink a whole liter or 2 liter or 5 liter of water if you have opportunity. What is the verse? Bengali. The poetry of Vidyapati. Vidyapati, not? Tatala Saikate. Yeah, Jaya. That's a little long, you know. Here, I got it from Prabhupada quote. Tatala Saikate Vari Bindu Sama Suta Mita Ramani Samache. Right? That's often quoted by Srila Prabhupada. Material sense gratification with society, friendship and love is herein compared to a drop of water falling on a desert. A desert requires oceans of water to satisfy it, and if only a drop of water is supplied, what is the use of it? That's Prabhupada's words. To 4th Canto, 25th chapter, text 11. In relation to King Puranjana. Puranjana is the living entity who had unlimited desires for sense enjoyment. Consequently, he traveled all over the world to find a place where all his desires could be fulfilled. Unfortunately, he found a feeling of insufficiency everywhere. That means he was not, it didn't become always something lacking, not enough satisfaction as he expected. Therefore, the living entity becomes defeated. Parabhava yavada bodha jata. Living entity becomes defeated in this material world. We have no chance. Prabhupada says further, similarly, the living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, who has stated in the Vedanta Sutra, it is Anandamaya Vyasad, full of enjoyment. Being part and parcel of the Supreme, the living entity is also seeking complete enjoyment. However, complete enjoyment cannot be achieved separate from the Supreme Lord. In his wanderings in the different species of life, the living entity may take some type of enjoyment in one body or another, but full enjoyment of the senses cannot be obtained in any material body, because the material body, mind, and material intelligence is limited. We are very tiny, very limited, so we cannot get this joy what we actually desire as from our nature as soul. The soul is Anandamaya Vyasad. It's searching for happiness. It's thirsty for happiness, but we cannot find it in the material world. Therefore, the living entity always becomes frustrated because of defeat. His plans becomes defeated. He gets old. He gets gets diseases, like that, and he cannot stop it, although he has many millions, and he has so many servants and so much property. In the end, he cannot take anything with him. Last shirt has no pocket. That's the saying. There's no pocket to take the last shirt when you die. They put the shirt on it, the Catholics, before they put you on the graveyard. Like a kurta, but it has no pocket in it. That means you cannot take anything with you. It's just a white shirt, a white kurta with no pockets in it. So there's nothing you can take with you. You have to leave everything behind, with the hope that somebody else will continue with that what you started. But then they also become similarly crazy like you. And want to continue to build up and increase the father's property, and then they also get old and diseased and have to die, and then again the next generation has next opportunity. And how is it called this, Prahlad? Punak puna charvita charvananam is chewing the chewed again and again. The father has chewed it, the son will go on chewing. And the sons of the son who became the father, they go on chewing, but it's actually the same chewing where there's already no more juice in it. So you have to become frustrated. So everyone desires, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also goes on, everyone desires enjoyment and the power. Everyone is ignorant. Objects like a kingdom give happiness by seeing them only, like a mirage, or give happiness by hearing about them only, since they actually do not give a drop of happiness because of worry, always worrying, how to increase it, how to maintain it, like that, always worry. Then family worry, bodily worries, business worry, money worry, so many world situation worry. Then calamities will come, so many different kinds of calamities. Then due to attachments, hatred will come because you start to hate somebody or something because it is not according to your sense desires and satisfaction. It's crossing your plan. So you start to hate somebody, become angry. You become envious. Somebody is more successful than you. Oh, here's one a trillionaire, so I'm only a billionaire. I have also become, so that I can become situated on the top list of the richest. Therefore, always competition is going on in this material world. But not competition how to attain Lord's lotus feet. Competition, how to become richer and richer, more powerful, more influential, and in a world where this is actually not possible. And how we call this kind of mentality? Craziness. But the same materialists say the Hare Krishnas are crazy. Because you're always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and singing, dancing, and dressing in strange way. And only know how to distribute some books and bothering the people on the street. And you're driving around all over the world, for what? Just to chant Hare Krishna. So therefore, Prabhupada made this essay, who is crazy? To define, because the materialists accuse the devotees they are crazy, but the devotees they know that they are crazy, because they're making plans in this material world to become happy where there is no happiness. And this is Prahlad Maharaj. Naivod viche paraturatia vaitra anyastvat vira gyanam ahamrita magna chita soche vimukhasa chetasa indriyata maya sukhaya param udvahato vimudhan. They are vimudha, because they make elaborate plans to become happy in a world where there is no happiness. But I feel compassion with them, because the devotees like Sanatana Goswami, like Prahlad Maharaj, is paradukha dukhi, kripa moya. They very feel miserable. They feel compassion. They feel suffering because of the suffering of others. So therefore, a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj always thinks about the benefit of others. He has no personal benefit for himself. He has no personal benefit for himself, although he was transcendentally situated on the lap of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Lord asked him personally, what is your desire? But because Prahlad Maharaj had already purified intelligence, he understood there is nothing what I should desire in this material world what has any value, because this is only a flittering thing. It's very temporary. So I should not desire something what is temporary if I meet the Lord. Like if somebody is a poor beggar, and you have opportunity to go to the king, you don't ask him for a piece of bread. You ask him for something, that you don't have to beg anymore in the future, that you don't have to become miserable in the future, that you don't have to accept the material body anymore in the future. So you will desire for the ultimate benefit, and this is called Shreya Achara. Lord Chaitanya instructed all his followers Etavan janmasapalyam dehinam ihadehishu pranair artha diyavachas shraya acharanam sada. Everyone who takes birth, actually this is a quote what Krishna spoke when he entered in the forest of Vrindavan with the cowherd boys, with Balaram. So he quoted this verse, Etavan janmasapalyam. Because in this material world, everyone is embodied in the material body, and those who are devotees, who are in a human form of life, they should use their deha, their body of human life, for the benefit of others. Dehinam iha dehishu pranar artha diyavacha. Using your body, your mind, your words, your intelligence, your possessions, and then in the service of Krishna. And in this way you get purified senses, purified intelligence. Beginning with only, we need a little intelligence, and then engaging it in the service of Krishna, and then by that intelligence, the mind and the whole existence become purified and can do something beneficial for ourselves, not only for ourselves, but also for the whole world. And that is actually, only a devotee knows what actually the Lord is pleasing. The Lord is pleased if the devotee doesn't think about his own welfare. And the Lord knows that very well. My devotee never thinks about anything for himself. Still, I would like to give him something. So what he can give, he only can give him his prema, his love, or his own body. But even that, Krishna says, no. I feel I should give him something else, and ultimately he gives him the shelter at his lotus feet in devotional service, bird after bird. And this was also Prahlad's desire, that he wanted to have only one desire, one benediction by the Lord, that he can always stay in and serve a pure devotee. That was his only desire he had. So he had and in another prayer he told, how I can forget my spiritual master Narad Muni, because only by his Narad Muni, by the mercy of Narad Muni, I am now sitting here on your lap, and I have this opportunity now to have your darshan. Without him, not possible. And therefore we should never forget this mercy. Why we actually get certain results and certain benefits and certain in spiritual life. It is due to the mercy of the spiritual master, to the mercy of the Supreme Lord ultimately also, who acts through the spiritual master. So without the spiritual master's mercy, we have no opportunity to make any advancement, not even a millimeter advancement in direction to the pure devotional service to the lotus feet of Krishna. It's not possible. So therefore a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj is very dear to the Lord, because he has no desire for himself. He only desires to please the Lord. And what is pleasing the Lord? If he can please his devotees. So I want to, for the end, because we are in the beginning of marathon, I have a few verses also from Srila Prabhupada, where he is just as I have shown you, because we have the ideal Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, he gave us a perfect example by his own life, body, life, mission, even his old age, his diseases and his disappearance. So he says, in the material world, one may collect funds all over the world to distribute food freely, yet those to whom food is given may not feel appreciative. The value of Krishna consciousness, however, will gradually be very much appreciated. Without Krishna consciousness, however, happiness is impossible. One may struggle, but one cannot have happiness. We are therefore trying to give human society the opportunity for a life of happiness, good health, peace of mind, and all good qualities through God or Krishna consciousness. Then, and also. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, Bharata Bhumite Hoila. This is India's culture. The whole world is in darkness and they are risking their life in their transmigration of one body to another. He does not know that he is eternal because of ignorance, that he thinks I'm temporary, but still making plan. and that in a few years these fragments passing away. This life is just a passing flash. This is the Vaishnava's concern. What these rascals are doing, they are jumping like monkeys, wasting time. This is the Vaishnava's concern. Para dukkha dukhi. Then another. This body is just an old machine. The more you cure it or try to cure it, the more it gets worse. But my work never stops. That keeps going on. My main work is to write these books, and that is going on. Printing of spiritual books is our life force. Print more books. This material body is only bones, but go on printing. This is life. We are not concerned with bones and stones. Our concern is the living force. Apareya mitastvanyam prakritim vidim eparam. The living force is sustaining these bones. In the material world, people are all simply protecting bones and flesh. They have no spiritual idea. And then the last one. I have already given the ideas in my books. You should all read them. You are intelligent. All of you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, para upakara, do good to others. Do not exploit them. Any human being has the ability to chant Hare Krishna, give them chanting, and also make the situation favorable. Is this clear? Is this clear? You understand? So Prabhupada gave so much his energy, his whole life in this mission, and he also says it's in our hands now that we continue with this mission. To what he so much blood of is sweating and engaging in this to translate and also to distribute his books. He put so much endeavor it because that is guru from his guru. He injected that. And Prabhupada, it's like a train. Prabhupada said it's like a train. One train is pushing another train, and so wagon, and so in this way the train is going on. So my Guru Maharaj pushed me, I'm pushing you, and you have to push others. That's how the movement is going on. We are a movement. We have to move around. We cannot stay stagnant. We are not in the level of Nirjan Bhajan or become Babaji here in a Kunj in Vrindavan. Anyway, not many Kunjas are left. And even if you go, so many loudspeakers and so much noise around and so much pollution there, and so many Babajis sitting there and try to do some kind of process of chanting and meditation. So the best meditation is the meditation and the devotional service of bhajan that Prabhupada has given to spread this movement, to travel around, go house to house, town to town, country to country, all over the world. We have a whole world, Prabhupada says. So it is, everything is, everyone is waiting actually for this message. We only have to be giving it. And it also it's ready here in Vrindavan. We should not think, like today I asked the devotee, you go a marathon? So he says, no, I only stay in Vrindavan here. And I try to do here something. Always going on, eternally. Ananta. The Sankirtan is Ananta, it is non-ending. So, but we can also do it in Vrindavan. So the mission is not limited only outside of Vrindavan. Even in Vrindavan you can distribute books. Actually more than in another place, because so many pilgrims come here. Already ready, everyone is prepared, to get the books. To get some contact with this bhakti and with the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And so therefore if we make a combined effort, therefore we call it Prabhupada Marathon. Previously it was Marathon, was called PBT Marathon. But then after Prabhupada's disappearance, after some years it was called Prabhupada Marathon, because it became dedicated. We want to dedicate this special endeavor for 1 month to please Srila Prabhupada in distributing his books. That means books what he wrote. So we should distribute Prabhupada's books, like Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, because these books, that's why he actually came. He came because of these books, so that we can also read them, understand them, and understand the urgency and mission, and understand the whole world is in fire, and therefore we need a very powerful fire brigade to extinguish the forest fire of the material existence by pouring out all this nectar information of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, and of course also with Hare Krishna mantra. Prabhupada also taught these books are not different from Kirtan or Hare Krishna. It's written down Kirtan. It's Brihad Midanga, so everyone, the whole world can hear it and become benefited. And everyone who is participating in this marathon doesn't matter if you distribute 100 or 200 or 2, 3, 5 books a day. The main thing that we try, we take part in it. So that's already the success. Like in military, if there is a war, then everyone has to go and everyone participates according to his capacity, according to his nature. He participates in the spiritual war of Lord Chaitanya to spread this holy name and this Krishna conscious process in every town and village. And it starts here in Bharatvarsha in India, and the heart of India is Vrindavan. Of Bharata, that's the heart. So therefore Sankirtan starts here. Mayapur and Vrindavan not different. They're not different. So Mayapur and Vrindavan, that's the heart of the Sankirtan movement. So here the fire of book distribution and the holy name. We have 24-hour Kirtan here. Nice book distribution is going on here. I always see all the time devotees busily distributing all kinds of generations, even old ladies and old men distributing Srila Prabhupada's books here. Normally when they retire, one thinks, but they don't retire because their satisfaction is in distributing books, because they know very well this is very dear to Prabhupada. It's in his heart. That's the Mridanga there. He's not saying we have to become Babajis and renounce artificially. So do this mission, surrender to this Sankirtan mission, and then we'll become sublimely happy and satisfied. That is guaranteed. We have experience for so many years that if you surrender to the Sankirtan mission, you really become satisfied and happy. There's no other process in bhakti-yoga makes you so quickly satisfied and happy as participating in the book distribution mission of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, Transcendental Book Distribution, key! Yeah. And of course, together also with Harinam and with Prasadam distribution, so we also include that. So because that's part all of the Sankirtan, of the Transcendental Preaching Mission of Lord Chaitanya. And only actually Srila Prabhupada had this faith. One time some early disciples of Srila Prabhupada met one godbrother of Prabhupada in Calcutta, they gave him a Back to Godhead magazine, and then he saw the picture of Srila Prabhupada, and he told, oh, this is Abhay Babu, this is my god brother. And then he told them a very confidential story. He told them a long time ago, there was Abhay Babu and me met together, so he visited often my place. And then we were discussing about the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And I asked him, Babu, how you understand the prophecy that in every town and village the holy name will be spread? Is Parate Bhumite Hoile Manusa Chamachara Chamasarta Karikara? No, that is Prithivite Achiate Nagarati Gram Savatra Vashoiba Hoiba Moranam. In every town and village, all over the world. So what means this Prithivit Achiyate Nagarate Gram Sarvatra Pachoiba Hoiba Morinam? Every town and village means this Bengal, maybe Orissa included, and Assam included, or is it whole India, Bharatavarsha, or is it the whole world? And then Prabhupada looked at him. With his convinced way, and also at the same time very humble, and he told, in a very convincing way, you think Mahaprabhu's mission is only for Bengal and for Orissa and Assam? No, it is for the whole, or is only for Bharatvarsha, for India? No, it is for the whole world. For the whole world. This mission is. It will go in every town and village. But this god brother, he was puzzled and very confused, and he thought, but who will do it? Who will do it? And what Prabhupada told, he humbled his head and is an insignificant, foolish person, disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. He will do it. So he already knew it. He knew about this mission. He always carried in the heart since 1922. He met his Guru Maharaj first time, and he got this seed of his mission, of Guru Maharaj's instruction in his heart. He never forgot it. He always kept it, and he knew the time will come. His Guru Maharaj again and again told him he should preach to the English-speaking world. And Prabhupada never forgot that. And so he accepted the mission of Guru as his heart and soul. This is the greatest blessing. What actually the Lord can give, and what the spiritual master can give, to always take shelter in this transcendental instruction of the spiritual master and to spread this mission. So it is clear nowadays that Prabhupada was already convinced and understood this foolish disciple is actually he himself, because nobody will say a foolish disciple will do it and will spread anything in this world. How a foolish disciple, if you yourself is not considering that you are it, can actually do it. That's not possible. No. Only a capable person can do it, to spread. But the Vaishnava, in a typical humble manner, he says the foolish disciple is doing it. He doesn't consider himself capable, because to consider oneself capable is the greatest foolishness. It's the greatest foolishness. That means we are completely deprived of any mercy and of any Shakti to do something substantial for the benefit of the world. And for the devotees, main quality is always he stays meek and humble, always carrying the order of Guru on his head and in his heart, and never forgets that. And he has full faith that this order of Guru that will be fulfilled. It will come. Because that's the nature of bhakti, the nature of Krishna. Because Krishna makes the promise, even if it is not my plan, but my Guru, my devotee makes a plan to save somebody and to forgive offense of somebody, or to do a certain service for the benefit of somebody, I have to fulfill it. I have to fulfill it, even although it is not my personal idea. This is Krishna. This is Krishna's selfless nature, because he leaves it in the hand of his devotee, to whom he wants to give bhakti and to whom not. Where to spread bhakti and in which way. Well, because Krishna himself came as a devotee, as Lord Chaitanya, he already made the plan. He made the plan. Now it's only the followers of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda and our parampara to take this very seriously and put our whole faith and energy in it, and then we'll become happy and satisfied and ultimately attain the mercy to full shelter at Krishna's lotus feet. Hare Krishna. Param Vichayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Krantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.